As there was a time when Chinese auto companies had to learn from the European car manufacturers because for a long time, for a very long time, the premium segment was controlled by the European auto manufacturers. They were the best in the world. That is not a debatable subject. However, now the Europeans, the Americans, and the Japanese are learning and partnering with the Chinese EV companies. Unlike what Lucid CEO was saying, the last CEO, Peter Rollins, I'm not sure where he is right now, but unlike what he was saying, it's contrary to what he was saying. And well, take a look at this clip, guys, to set the stage for today's video, and then we shall continue.
Since we've been here in Shanghai, we've been having lots of conversations with people in this industry, and it's been all about competition, 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 as well as innovation. And I think a sign of the times is that when we think about a lot of these European luxury automakers, the Mercedes-Benzes and the BMWs of the world, they were once teaching the Chinese how to build cars, but increasingly in the last few months and weeks, we're hearing about these strategic agreements and partnerships between European automakers, the Japanese car makers, and Chinese firms going the other way, because as executives have said to me here, what the Chinese customer in particular is really looking for, it's all about connectivity, basically like a smartphone on wheels. So it's about that digital experience, the software here. What does the entertainment look like? What does the driver assistance systems look like? And that is really where analysts say the Chinese companies really lead here, because it's not so much about that fit and finishings. Now, that is, of course, the dynamic we're seeing between the foreign automakers and the domestic automakers, but also we know that in the last few years there's been a very cutthroat and brutal competition happening domestically as well. I got a chance yesterday to speak with the CEO and founder of Nio William Li. Nio, of course, is one of the big three Chinese EV startups, and there's been analysts that have questioned about, the situation in terms of their financial picture, both from a gross margin perspective as well as in terms of the cash burn. So I put it to him, given some of the challenges facing the company, the domestic competition, but also particularly in terms of tariff barriers as well, whether or not they're still on target to break even this year. Let's watch.
We've set a target that we are going to make even in Q4 this year. We are confident to achieve this goal. We have 9 models to be delivered this year. Secondly, we have more technologies to be applied this year. Our new models this year with different position is going to increase our gross margin. So there will be steady improvement in our gross margin this year. Thirdly, as we mentioned earlier, we will build battery swapping stations in every county of China's 27 provincial level zones. The battery swapping network can be a strong channel for us to sell cars with network effect. So we believe this will help boost our sales.
And so we are watching, of course, these reveals in terms of updated models, new models that are coming through. We're set to get about 100, which is a really big number when we think about auto shows. And we're expecting about 70 automakers to be here in the building behind me, Martin. So lots to unpack and look forward to in the week ahead.
All right, guys, welcome back. So you got to hear it from the horse's mouth himself, Emperor William Li, and from the perspective of even the news, the American news outlets that are usually lying, blatantly lying to its public and corralling them like cattle. Sometimes they do tell the truth. So what else is happening? Well, SIH Partners LLP lifted its position shares in Nio by 23.1% during the fourth quarter. And other hedge funds and other institutional investors have also recently bought and sold shares of Nio. SBI Securities Company Limited purchased a new stake in shares of Nio in the fourth quarter valued at $1,360,000. Alpha Star Capital Management LLC acquired a new position of shares in Nio during the fourth quarter valued at about $537,000, a new position. Arizona PSPRS, Arizona, yes, here in America, Trust acquired a new stake in shares in Nio in the fourth quarter worth approximately $1,330,000 US. Principal Financial Group Incorporated increased its position in Nio by 14.2% during the third quarter. The company stock is now worth $502,000 after purchasing additional 43,839 shares. And finally, Raymond James Financial Incorporated acquired a new position in shares of Nio in the fourth quarter valued at $1,776,000. 48.55% of the stock is owned by hedge funds and other institutional investors. But why do they keep buying when people come out and say, I hope, Mitch, or I'm holding until blah, 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 when I say, whilst you're holding, I keep buying? So the reason why I keep buying is because, not just because the hedge funds, the pension funds and stuff are buying, because they manipulate the market from time to time as well, and they will sell some shares, as we've seen, to make you think that they are selling. They will sell some shares, not all, to make you think they're selling, panic you to drop the stock even lower, so they buy back in a massive way. This is the way the game is played in Wall Street in America. Nio has been heavily illegally shorted. The American stock market has lost all credibility, and in the future we would see the Hong Kong Stock Exchange as the major stock index in the world. And as we've seen, Donald Trump has went from an orange lion to a yellow putty tat, and is now saying that he will drop most of the tariffs on China. I'm willing to say all of them, because without China, the entire world system will crumble. This is how big China has become now. They have taken over. I hope you guys found this video yet again to be informational, inspirational, and motivational. If so, guys, blah, 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 don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It takes a lot of time to do these videos and the editing. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so, because in this channel, we are waking up the middle class for the first time to get a major piece of the pie from the ground level up as to how the game is played on Wall Street. And like 50 said, we get rich or we die trying, guys.